presented to you by Top Sports News. As always, we are your hosts. I'm Caleb Jennerat. Next to me is the renowned Isaac Deer. Isaac, how are you doing today?
I'm good, man. I'm good. My K-State Wildcats took a heartbreaking loss yesterday. I'm over it now. It's Sunday. It's a new day. I lied. I'm not over it quite yet, but I'm happy that we got the opening week of spring sports out of the way and getting to know some names and some people and everything else. We got a lot to talk about today, but I'm doing swell, Caleb. I'm doing swell.
Yeah, it's a good week. It's a good week for sure. I got to finally go outside and not – I was wearing a polo. I was wearing a polo at the Washburn Road Topeka High game. It did start raining a little bit, so that kind of dampened a little bit, and I went and sat in the car. But for a little bit, it felt really nice. So it's nice
Yeah.
that warmish weather is back. It's kind of cold today, but looking to the horizon, looking in the
Yeah.
positive direction, and eventually it's going to get warm. I promise you that. Knock on wood. As always, we want to thank our gold sponsors, Invista Credit Union and Family Guidance Center, and the University of Kansas Health System St. Francis campus for continuing to sponsor Top Sports News. Also wanted to shout out the ticker. Notice the ticker wasn't getting a lot of use last week with baseball, with softball. Remember, you can always still use it. Always put scores in there. We had a lot of big-time scores this week that a lot of people would be really excited to see. So put scores in there, put stats in there. You can literally put anything in there as long as it's related to Shawnee County sports. And it's good to go. Easy to set up. Put a code in, blah, 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 blah. It explains everything. You got it. But yeah, you ready to get started?
I'm ready to get started.
Let's jump right into it. So we started off with softball. So softball teams opened up their respective seasons last week. All of the UKC finished with at least one win. Seaman and Topeka West split a doubleheader against each other, with Topeka West winning the first game 6-1 and Seaman winning the second one 13-1. Shawnee Heights is 2-0 after a doubleheader sweep against Turner, winning 17-2 and 18-3 in dominant fashion.
Woo-wee, Shawnee Heights. Okay, I see you. All right. Yeah, really good to see some promising teams, that we've talked about before the season kind of get right to it right away. I know Topeka West has some really serious potential with this roster, and they can make some noise and show their best work on the diamond this year. But get a win on the 501 triangular, get a win against Seaman. That's huge because with Seaman, they're a really good team this year, and I know they had a quality win against Topeka West. Those two UKC schools with some serious promise. But yeah, Seaman with a big win over Topeka West as well, as you kind of alluded to earlier. And Seaman will have a test this week against Shawnee Heights, who absolutely decimated Turner. Just talked about it a second ago, 17-2 and 18-3. That's a matchup I kind of had circled before the spring sports seasons kicked off. But great hitting, great pitching from both sides, and I'm really curious to see what the end result of that Seaman Shawnee Heights matchup will look like this week.
Mm-hmm. And then another game that I'm sure everybody had scheduled was in Class 6A, a rematch of last year's state championship with Washburn Rural and Topeka High. Washburn Rural avenged its loss from last year's championship game with a doubleheader sweep of Topeka High, winning 4-3 in the first game in an amazing game, by the way. Last second win, walk-off win, and then 8-3 in the second game.
No cupcake games for these two teams. They are right back at it from the state championship to game one of the 2023 campaign. Yeah, absolutely nothing easy about the season opener between these two teams that really gutted it out. A lot of performances last year against each other, some really close matchups, particularly the state championship that was down to the wire. Topeka High had the advantage early off in game one off of two Washburn Rural errors that could get a 1-0 lead. Before Washburn Rural freshman, who we did not hit on last week. I did not deep dive on the research here, but we're going to be talking about her for weeks and weeks and weeks to come. Freshman Reagan Chapman had a leadoff homer to even the score in the bottom of that opening inning. Spoiler alert, we're going to talk about it right now. Rural did go up 2-1 in the bottom of the second. Reagan Chapman had a run-scoring double. Topeka High would tie that game with Alicia Alvarez singling in Addison Carroll, the Illinois signee. really close game in that first game, though. You talk about it's like Washburn Rural regained a lead off of a Casey Bath solo homer, which we'll talk about her a lot too because she had a lot of those last year. Casey Bath she's an amazing hitter. Topeka High would tie that up 3-3. Jamara Benning doubled and scored on a bunt from McCall Beal. McCall Beal, awesome bunter. She's going to get those sack bunts because she is lightning quick. She is as quick as a hiccup, as they say. And then it go on. The game still tied 3 going to the bottom of the 7th, but they would be a tie no more as Reagan Chapman opened up the inning with her second double. Emerson Cope was intentionally walked, and sophomore Layla Collins singled to load the bases before Reagan Chapman scrambled home with the game-winning run on a pass ball. So that's how game 1 went. Pretty crazy stuff. You mentioned it was exciting. Emerson Cope, talked about her, Nebraska signee. She picked up the win in game 1. A 3-game hitter, complete game, or three-game hitter, a complete game 3 hitter.
There you go.
With 10 Ks, 10 strikeouts. So that was awesome.
Unreal.
Game 2 kind of called off early because of Tsunami Topeka that happened last Friday. I experienced it covering soccer. It was a brutal one outside in terms of the rainfall. But Topeka High, very similar start to game 1 as they did in game 2. Started off with a 2-0 lead. Alicia Alvarez and McCall Beal both knocked in runs. Topeka High had a 2-0 lead, but that wouldn't last very long. As you mentioned the score earlier, I think it was 8-3. Chloe Carlgren doubled. Casey Bath tied the game with her second home run of the day for Washburn Rural. Alyssa Maston, Piper Titsworth doubled and scored, and Washburn Rural, they had a 4-run third inning with Reagan Chapman, the freshman, with a 3-run home run. Awesome stuff for Washburn Rural. That was a lot to get to in a short amount of time. Emerson Cope also got the win in that second game as well. She came into relief in the third inning, allowing just 1 hit in her 3 innings of work. She struck out 7 batters, including 6 consecutive at one point. So yeah, Washburn Rural avenged their loss from the state championship last year with 2 gigantic wins over Topeka High.
Oh, huge. I mean, how about an opening or a high school softball debut for Reagan Chapman?
Yeah.
What, 2 home runs, game-winning run in the first game? I mean, you can't get better than that. So I have a feeling we're going to talk about her a lot this year. And she's, as you said, only a freshman. So she's going to be around, and she's going to be a fun one to watch for sure.
Yes.
Moving on to track now, we had the Topeka West track invite. So last week, Topeka West held its track invite, and multiple city schools competed at the Hummer Sports Park. For the boys, Seaman took a second-place finish right behind Manhattan. Topeka West took 6th, T-High took 7th, and Highland Park finished 8th. For the girls, Lawrence took the first-place finish. The Seaman girls took a 3rd. Topeka West took 5th, and T-High was right behind them in 6th, with Highland Park finishing behind them in 8th.
Yeah, and let's start off with the boys really quick. I know, as you alluded to, the Seaman boys took a second-place finish. Really good on them. I know Manhattan is going to have a heck of a track team this year. They finished second by only 14 points. In the track world, that's pretty close. And with the Vikings, they won 2 events on the day. They got wins from Brody Anderson in the 800-meter, and they also got a win from Aaron Merritt in the 110-meter. I forgot. And then there's a 2,000-meter steeplechase that we don't see at these events very often. And Zach Jowers from Seaman with the dub on that. Pretty fun stuff there. If you are unfamiliar with what I'm talking about, this 2,000-meter steeplechase, go check out the website. Rick Peterson has an excellent story on Zach Jowers and the steeplechase race event. It's a really good story. I recommend checking it out because it was fun to read because I didn't know anything about it in terms of it not being as common as it is now, but it's a really good story. So I recommend checking it out. And then for Topeka West, they had a, big performance from, guess who? We're going to talk about him again for another season here. And that's Lenny Narogi, KU cross country and track commit. The returning state medalist, he won by nearly 14 seconds in the 1600, aka the mile, and the 2 mile, aka the 3200 meter. It's a lot of meters. Clocked in a winning time of 4:29.84 in the 1 mile and came back later to post a winning time of 9 minutes 45 seconds. 9:45.51. I'm gonna get used to this. And the 2 mile Topeka West, Lenny Narogi was a bright spot, absolutely. But they also got a couple of wins from Jacob Reimer, who's a senior in the discus, 129 feet and 10-inch throw on that. And Ali Sesco Beston in the triple jump. I think I just butchered that name. Sorry. 43:11.50 on the jump, on triple jump. And then Highland Park, mentioned it last week. Trey Richardson, awesome at what he does, which is sport. He's good at sport. So he won the long jump with a big long leap of 22 feet, 11.50. I hope I got that right. I really hope I got that right. I'm not sure if I did. He had a very big jump of 22, 11.50. And then he finished third in the triple jump. After earning state medals in both of those events as a junior, Richardson comes back as the defending, reigning 5A state champion. Oh, my goodness. In the 200 meters dash. I can't with all these numbers. I'm going to get used to this track, folk. I really am. I promise. There's just a lot of digits here that I'm trying to process. My head's not made for that. How many years of college math I had to take? Well, okay, I don't have to take it anymore. I'm graduating in the spring, but I had to take a lot here. But Trey Richardson, awesome. Won an event. Great stuff. Returning state medalist. That's all you need to know. Topeka High, their 4x100 group of Josiah Mack, Beyonce Peoples, Logan Murray, and Malachi Murph won that 4x100 in 44.20 seconds. Let's go to the girls' side, shall we?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Seaman has a awesome 800-meter runner in Bethany Drews. She is also a reigning, defending Class 5A champion in her own right. It's just a lot of numbers, man. I'm getting into it, I promise. She had an 11-second win last week, and she also helped the 4x400 relay team consisting of her, Taylon Stahlbomber, Jada Stahlbomber, and Taylor Heston to earn a victory. Seaman swept the girls' throwing events as well with 2 wins from Anna Doman and 1 from javelin thrower Allie Trier. Doman won the shot put at 33.150, 33.1.50. The 33 is a space before the 1, and then there's a .50. So 33 feet. Is that 1.5? Dude, I am flabbergasted. And the discus. She won the discus too at 114 feet, 6 inches, while Allie Trier won the javelin title as well. Topeka West, let's go to them. Mackenzie Jones, she had a eye-opening start as well. She won 2 events, and she also finished second in a third event. So she was participating in a lot. Jones won the long jump with a 16 feet, 4.75 second, and then in the triple jump at 33 feet, 8.5. Is that right? 8.
I think. I believe you.
Okay, sure.
8.5. I don't know.
Sure. And she finished second in the high jump. But one last thing we got to get to in track is Topeka High. And freshman Kimara Marshall, who we talked a lot about at basketball as a pesky defender, a really good basketball player. She won the 100 in the girls' side of things on that Topeka West invite, 13.17 seconds. She also helped the Trojans post a runner-up finish in the 4x100, and she placed 4th in the 200. So good for Kimara Marshall, good for Topeka High, but that's a lot of numbers, and I am done with track for the rest of the day. Sorry about that. That's just too much for this little brain.
Hey, shout out to the hundreds of athletes that competed in that. But we are going to have some more numbers as we had the Topeka West invite on the track, and now we have the Topeka West swim invite as well. UKC School Lansing won the invite. 4 out of our area schools took 3, 4, 5, 6 finishes. Seaman took a third place finish, Shawnee Heights in fourth, Hayden in fifth, and Topeka High finished sixth. Topeka West also finished in 10th out of 13 schools. This was a very large meet, a lot of athletes competing, so there's going to be some more numbers for you.
I knew it. I knew it. Yeah. For Seaman, let's start out with Seaman since they took the highest finish out of the meet. Third place finish there, not bad at all. Avery Walls, she won the 100-yard freestyle and the 200-yard freestyle events. I'm not going to get into times anymore because if you want the times, just go to our website and go click on the story, dang it, because I'm struggling with these numbers. So 100-yard freestyle and 200-yard freestyle. Avery Walls champion. Torin Walls, the sister, she placed first in the 50-yard freestyle and second in the 100-yard butterfly. Jocelyn Grace claimed second place in both the 200-yard individual medley and the 100 breaststroke. And on Thursday, the Vikings combination of the Walls twins, Grace and Lizzie Gold, placed first in the 400-yard freestyle relay, and also they took a second place finish in the 200-yard medley relay as well. Fourth place, Shawnee Heights. They trailed Seaman by just 14 points when the day was done. Shawnee Heights was led by Ashton Landry, who placed third in the 100-yard freestyle, and she also helped the 200-yard freestyle relay to a second place finish overall. A couple more swimmers we could talk about here. We could start out with a diver, actually, with standout diver Brianna Devlin for Topeka High. Took a first place finish. First place finish for Brianna Devlin there with a score of 207.15. I think she was just right ahead of Hayden's Kaylee Gregg. And then medaling for Hayden was Presley Green, who came in second in the 500-yard freestyle. So a lot of good swimming this week. We got more next week, and the week after, and the week after, and the week after, and the week after. So I'm excited for that.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Moving on to baseball, because we finally have baseball in Shawnee County. Shawnee Heights and Seaman both came out of the UKC the opening week undefeated. Centennial League schools such as T High and Hayden both got wins as well. A couple of big matches went down in the area with Shawnee Heights versus Miege and Hayden versus Silver Lake.
Yeah, there were some really good matchups this weekend, some tough matchups to open up the week for just about everybody. I think one of the toughest matches that was on the card this week was Shawnee Heights and Bishop Miege. A really fascinating victory. When you read Rick's story about how that game went down and the comeback that Shawnee Heights had to have, amazing, absolutely amazing. And this win for Shawnee Heights over Miege might not seem like anything since it's really just the opening week, but it's huge because Shawnee Heights, they allowed Miege to tack on a 4-0 lead in the top of the first, and then they had a 6-1 lead in the top of the third. But Shawnee Heights rode an outstanding relief effort from junior pitcher Johan Villa and some really clutch hitting from Carter Ulrich. They had a big comeback win at Bettis last week, and you talk about Ulrich's performance too. He scored a run in the bottom of the first off of a sac fly. After a scoreless second inning, T-Birds kept chipping away at Miege's lead. Pretty big lead because you figure it's Bishop Miege. They're going to have a lead. They're a powerhouse for a reason. Ulrich had a 2-run double, single runs in the fourth and fifth, took the lead with 2 runs in the sixth inning. And because of Ulrich's second 2-run double, he's just all over the place that game. And honestly, if it wasn't for his efforts and the great relief pitching and the total team effort that Shawnee Heights had, who knows how that game would have gone. But overall, that's a big win to open up the season for Shawnee Heights as a team. They're only going to get better too. And I think, like I said, it might not seem like a lot, but it is. And they got a long season to go as well. And moving on over to Silver Lake and Hayden, I thought I was going to get frostbite at this game. I was there. It was pretty cold. It was pretty cold at Silver Lake. Once the hands, you start, it's like, ooh, I don't know if I can type this tweet out. It's starting to get a little bit cold.
Yeah.
That's what it was. But Hayden had an outstanding performance against Silver Lake. They swept Silver Lake in both games, 14-0 game one, 10-2 game two. In game one, the 14-0 win, nothing could have gone wrong for Hayden, especially because Cooper Grace pitched a perfect game. Struck out 10 batters in 5 innings because of the run rule. You only allow 5 balls to really be put into play. There's 3 groundouts and 2 flyouts. So, I mean, just excellent baseball by Cooper Grace. Really setting the tone for the season to get started. The bats did not disappoint at all. The bats, I think there was a combined, I think it was in the first game there was 2 5-run innings, and then in the second game there was also 2 5-run innings. Nothing possibly could have gone wrong for Hayden that night. They were just in their element. There were some really, really good performances. Evan Leonard, Brady Heinen, Braden Rose, Easton Bloster, and man, I'm missing so many names too. Jackson Summers and even Cooper Grace swinging the stick as well. He also was phenomenal at the plate. I think he went 3 for 3 or 4 for 4 in the second game. So Hayden had a great start to the year. I don't think he gets better than that for Hayden. Also saw some really good stuff from Silver Lake with relief pitching in the second game. They held Hayden to not get another run rule, which resulted in frostbite for the entire community. So appreciate that. But other than that, man, saw some really good stuff from Silver Lake in that second game. Score might not say so. Silver Lake played pretty well in that second game, despite a couple 5-run innings, which led to, the 10-2 score in the second game. But yeah, Hayden couldn't start off any better. Phenomenal start for the Wildcats over in the city of Topeka.
Yeah, and looking forward to warmer weather for sure, as I mentioned before. Now, moving over to soccer, where Isaac got some action this week. Washburn Rural had a heartbreaking loss in the state championship last year, but quickly shook it off with 2 quality wins to start the 2023 season.
Absolutely. Washburn did earn those 2 quality wins in the opening week. First, they took a 3-zip lead over DeSoto. Addie Broxterman, Destiny Higgs, and McKinley Roan all earned goals then. On Friday, Washburn Rural also got another win. It was 1-0 over Powerhouse Cape and Mount Carmel as well. The 6A runner-ups from last year, they got a bunch of studs this year. I wouldn't expect a decline or step back or anything. I can only honestly say they could probably take a step forward. They got a pair of shutouts from senior Washburn University commit Haley Beck as well, and she was phenomenal between the pipes. I think it was a combined shutout in game 1 against DeSoto, and then that later game against Cape, and I think she did that all by herself. So good on you, Haley Beck. But yeah, Washburn Rural started off pretty swell this week or this last week. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And another team that started off really well was Topeka High, who rolled this week to an undefeated start to the season. A lot of different names made an impact this week on the field.
And we mentioned it at the end of the last show last week was, wow, Avery Zimmerman's got 4 goals right now. They're doing really well. Yeah. Topeka High had a pretty good week last week. The Trojans took a 9-0 victory to open up the season last Monday against Topeka West. Junior, I want to emphasize junior, Avery Zimmerman. She led the way with 4 goals and an assist against Topeka West. Freshman Rayleigh Shipley, she had a couple goals and assists. Sierra Carranza had a goal and 2 assists. Haley Carpenter had a goal and assist. Alexa Aguirre had a goal. I think just a goal. There's probably an assist in there somewhere. But yeah, 9-0, pretty awesome. Then on Friday, where I was at that nightcap, it was very bad weather outside. Very, very bad weather in terms of the rain. But Topeka High didn't care. I cared, they didn't. 4-2 win over Lawrence High last Friday. Hurricane Topeka, or if you want to call it Tsunami, didn't make it easy on either team on Friday night, but Topeka High did prevail. Shocker here, Avery Zimmerman, she had a couple of goals and an assist, but she was not alone, as freshman Natalie Barnes also had 2 goals and assist as well. So Topeka High They're doing it. They're doing the dang thing so far. They're killing it, just like their crosstown rival Washburn Rules. So good week for Topeka High to kick off the season, literally and
Yeah,
figurative.
and more. I mean, there's just more really
Yeah,
good weeks. As Seaman also opened up the first week undefeated against a couple of powerful teams.
absolutely. Yeah, the Lady Vikes did not have the easiest draws right away, especially in the home opener to kick off the season. They had to take on Manhattan, who finished the Class 6A tournament last year in fourth place. Seaman, they beat them last week 3-1, which is a great start for Seaman. JC Schumann had a couple of goals against Manhattan. Maren Schuler also had a goal against Manhattan. And then the next game later on that week against Emporia would not be as close as Seaman took care of business 6-0. Ryan Miller had four. She had 4 goals against Emporia. Brooklyn Yingling and Ava Huston had goals as well. So yeah, Seaman dominated the opening week. They have a powerful group coming back. A lot of potential to make some noise in Class 5A this year. Don't be surprised if we see a lot of weeks like this where it's like undefeated weeks. We can see a lot of these this year with this team in particular.
Yeah, a lot of really talented teams in the Topeka area, and no shortage as we keep going, as we had a rematch of last year's 4A 1A regional final this week between Hayden and Cape Paravel. Last year, Cape Paravel beat Hayden to advance to the 4A through 1A state semifinal. So, big time game.
Yeah, surprise, surprise. I was there for that one as well.
Big
It
soccer guy.
was, yeah, big soccer, big soccer. This is a not a Sporting KC, but it kind of looks like it with the colors. This is a Royals jersey to let you know to please send me your flowers soon because the Royals start playing baseball soon, which means I'm going to be sad boy very soon. But yeah, let's get to Hayden and Care Paravel, both of them. Big deal last year. Care Paravel beat Hayden to advance to the state tournament for the first time in its school's history. They were both coming off of big shutout wins to start out the regular season last week, but they would meet up on Friday afternoon. On Friday afternoon, we got a 2-2 draw. Both teams were really, really close in either overtime to kick those game-winning goals, but it ended up as a draw. And for Hayden, Brianna Barnett, Kylie Ignoski, they both had goals, and Care Paravel's goals came from Zara Fries and Corinne Stapleton. We'll say their name a lot, I think, throughout the spring as well. Those two are really, really good. Yeah, but absolutely nothing, no doubt at all that these two teams won't be able to make another run because they are loaded with young talent, just absolutely filled with skillful players. So yeah, there's some really, really good and strong soccer around this area, which I'm excited for. I'm all ready for the rest of the year now. It's going to be a good year.
Yeah, 100%. But we had a good week, and about 10 athletes had a really good week, is what we're going to find out right here. So, without further ado,
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. All right. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Okay, this is how it always is. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Oh, never mind.
with the sweep, I guess the sweep. There was a tie in there, 2-0-1. All right. Starting off with my number 5, Mackenzie Jones from Topeka West. She had a really good track meet to open the year in the Topeka West Invite. Winning a pair of events, finishing second and third. Jones won the long jump, the triple jump, and finished second in the high jump. So congratulations, Mackenzie. You just made the list.
Yeah, my number 5, I got to go with the reigning defending Class 5A state champion in the 800-meter dash. That is Bethany Drews from Northwest Topeka Seaman High School. Bethany Drews just absolutely killed it in the opener of her senior season. Just absolutely killing it in the 800-meter, winning that. She also was a big reason why the 4x400 relay team won it at the Topeka West Invite. But Bethany Drews, we're going to be saying her name a lot. She just made the list.
And then another girl we're going to be talking about a whole lot is Reagan Chapman from Washburn Rural. We spoke about it. She really couldn't have had a better start. She's a leadoff hitter. She had 2 home runs. She had the winning run in the first game. I mean, speechless. I'm just speechless.
Yeah.
Congratulations. You just made a list. I mean, I'm probably going to see you a lot more on this list as well.
Oh yeah,
Just a forewarning.
yeah, absolutely. That's a spoiler. Um, my number 4. We're sticking with Washburn Rural here, and we're gonna go to the soccer field. And the soccer field where Haley Beck doesn't allow anything past her. She missed the preseason due to an injury, but came back as strong as she could for this soccer season. She had a shutout in the 3-0 season opening win over DeSoto. As the goalkeeper, she had another shutout in the 1-0 win over Capon Mount Carmel. So Haley Beck killing it to start the year. That's why she's one of the best 10 performances we saw all week last week in Shawnee County. So Haley Beck, good job. You just made the list.
Congratulations. Going back to Northwest, Topeka to Seaman, going to the pool. Avery Walls won the 200 freestyle, the 100 freestyle, and was part of the 400 freestyle relay team that won by 7 seconds at the Topeka West Invite. If you don't know what 7 seconds is, here's 7 seconds. That's 7 seconds. There went second place. That's wild. Congratulations, Walls, Avery Walls. You just made the list.
Absolutely. Good job, Avery. We'll be saying, I feel like we say this after every athlete, but we probably will be talking about Avery Walls quite a bit. My number 3, we're going to Tecumseh, Kansas, where the Shawnee Heights T-Birds, they're pretty good at this baseball thing. I don't know if you've heard about the Shawnee Heights T-Bird baseball program, but they are pretty good. Carter Ulrich, we got to talk about my guy Carter, going 2 for 3 on the night with 5 RBIs, pair of 2-run doubles, and a sacrifice fly against Bishop Miege. Came up huge for the T-Birds against a team like Miege. Absolutely incredible stuff from Carter there. And Shawnee Heights going to have a pretty good year. So keep an eye on Ulrich and the rest of the game because they are coming for everything. But yeah, Carl Ulrich, you just made the list.
Congratulations. Staying in Northwest Topeka, heading out to the soccer field. Ava Huston collected 4 goals, as we mentioned, against Emporia in the 6-0 shutout win. Spoiler alert. I think we're going to mention another 4 goals here pretty soon. But congratulations, Ava. You just made the list.
Absolutely. Great pick on your part. For me, sticking on the baseball diamond, we're going to go to Topeka from Tecumseh. That's about a 6-minute drive now, 7-minute drive now. But we're going to go where the Hayden Wildcats play. They didn't play there this week, but they played in Silver Lake, Kansas. But Cooper Grace, how could I not put Cooper Grace on the list? And I know it's just 5 innings, but a perfect game is still a perfect game. He pitched a perfect game in the 14-0 win over Silver Lake. 5 innings, 10 strikeouts, no walks, 3 groundouts, 2 flyouts. It really doesn't get more dominant than that. So Cooper Grace, congratulations. You just made the list.
Congratulations. Moving on to my number 1 spot. Lenny Norogi won by nearly 14 seconds in the 1600 / that's also the 1 mile, 3200, 2 mile, clocking in a winning time of 4:29 in the 1600 and came back later in the evening to post a winning time of 9:45 in the 3200 at the Topeka West Invite. Congratulations. We're going to say it again. Probably going to see a lot more of you this entire season. So congratulations, Lenny. You just made my list.
And my number 1, we're going to talk about probably every week for the end of time. I don't know. But here we go. My number 1, Trojans soccer. Avery Zimmerman absolutely killed it this last week in the opening week of play. Scored 4 goals against Topeka West, 2 against Lawrence High. 6 goals in 2 games is absolutely nuts. Avery Zimmerman is in God mode right now. I don't know if you've heard of God mode, but Avery Zimmerman is in that mode right now, and she's doing absolutely phenomenal things. This Topeka High team we talked about in our preview episode, they're going to be a pretty special team. Avery Zimmerman, a key component of that. So I don't see why she couldn't be my number one on this week's list, but she is number one on the list. Caleb Jenneret.
Thank you for saying my name. I don't know why I said thank you, but hey.
Oh, what's your middle name?
Douglas.
Oh, that's a cool name. Caleb Douglas Jenneret.
That's
Is that yeah. Okay. Well, we can talk about it more off air, but I don't know if it's named after anybody in particular.
It is, yeah. My grandpa is named Douglas.
Nice.
My dad's middle name is Douglas.
Oh, snap. That's cool.
My son's middle name? Douglas.
Whoa. Cool. That's a four-peat, baby. Love it.
Generational.
Yes, sir. Love it.
Do you have a cool story like that with your middle name?
Yeah. I am named after my great grandfather. He was Isaac Kelso Deer, the original. I am Isaac Kelso Deer here today. It's a pretty awesome name. Not that 70s show, Kelso. This is way further back than that 70s show. That's old show, but that's where the original Isaac Kelso Deer, that's what the K stands for. And at Isaac K Deer stands for Kelso.
So that 70s show, Kelso, was named after your great grandfather.
Yep, that's it.
You need some royalties from that show.
I think my great grandfather actually still has a standing education scholarship at Pitt State University. It's the Isaac Kelso Deer Scholarship at Pitt State. So hey, telling you, let's go.
Legendary.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
But that's all we have for this week's episode of Top Sports Talk. We will be back next week with another episode. Once again, remember to like this video, subscribe, and click the bell so you never miss it. But yeah, leave us a comment. Comment who your favorite player to watch or athlete. I know track doesn't really have players. Swimming, I don't know if they call themselves players. But tell us your favorite spring sport athlete to watch. No matter if they're your child, if they're your brother, if they're your friend, I don't care who it is. Just tell us down below. But yeah, Isaac, you got anything else?
Nope. I'm good.
All right, we'll see you next week with more content.